Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad and Instagram at Movies TV Mad 555. Welcome to a brand new video, a brand new sort of thing that I'm trying out, the DCEU opinion. Today I have two DCEU opinions. Let's start with Superman and Lois. There is a lot of triggered Arrowverse stands out there because a lot of people have been trying to say that Superman and Lois is not part of the Arrowverse, and even sometimes I've tried to wind them up by saying it but not really believing it. So let's look at Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. He first appeared as Superman in the Supergirl show and then in the Arrowverse crossovers. He's clearly part of the Arrowverse. But when Crisis on Infinite Earths climaxed, basically Oliver Queen rebooted the multiverse. Now, as far as the Arrowverse Earth 1 characters are concerned, there's only one Earth, Earth Prime. But that's not the truth, because there's a multiverse. He rebooted and saved the whole multiverse, and it was rebooted. Something similar to what's going to happen in the Flash movie with Ezra Miller. That's what he will do at that climax of that film. And I think what Oliver Queen did and the truth of Earth Prime not being the only Earth in the multiverse will all be revealed in the Flash movie, because everything, of course, live action will be canon from that moment onwards. But even though they're really, really triggered, and I've been on Twitter all day and they've been seeing pictures of David Ramsey's, David Ramsey's character in Arrowverse, Diggle, that's it, I'm shit with names. Anyway, yeah, so David Ramsey's Diggle has been going around cameoing on most of the shows. This week it's his turn to do the cameo we've all been waiting for on Superman and Lois. So of course they've been, the Arrowverse stands have been all over it, saying, you see, you were all saying, Superman and Lois isn't part of Arrowverse. Well, look, it is, because he's there, right? The reason I mentioned Crisis on Infinite Earths and the kind of relaunching, the rebooting of the multiverse by Oliver Queen, we have never been told since Superman and Lois started what Earth they're on. They may not even be on the same Earth as Supergirl anymore. That's a fact. They may have no memory of what happened before Crisis. And if they're on another Earth, now this is interesting, of course, because we know that Diggle's being on Arrowverse Earth Prime, cameoing here, cameoing there, but this could be another Diggle from this Earth, which would be very, very interesting. Or has he found a way to travel through the multiverse? Is he one of the few people who know that Earth Prime isn't the only Earth? We don't know. So, in fact, even though Superman and Lois is part of Earth Prime, or should I say Arrowverse, we don't know what Earth they're on. But one of the major reasons, one of the many reasons Superman and Lois has been so successful is the distancing from the watered down once great Arrowverse. Not having crossover after crossover, being its own thing. Now, whether you like crossovers or not, and I think if you like interconnected universes, like how Arrowverse has been pre-Superman and Lois and the MCU, you're going to be triggered by what I'm saying. But one of the reasons Superman and Lois has been so successful is the reason of distancing itself from Arrowverse, being a very, gritty, darker show, lighter at times as well, really doing its own thing. An original take on Superman. It's been absolutely fantastic, and its distancing itself from the Arrowverse has been vital in that success. So before people get carried away that there's going to be a big reunion and a bunch of hugs, I want you to remember one thing, that this is after Crisis on Infinite Earths. We know that Earth Prime isn't the only Earth. We know that Oliver Queen rebooted the whole of the multiverse, and there's a multitude of planets out there, a multitude of Earths, should I say, and we don't know what Earth Superman and Lois is on, and we don't know if this Diggle is Arrowverse Earth 1, Earth Prime, or from this. He has to be from this Earth, right? Unless he can travel through the multiverse, which is improbable. Although we know the Green Lantern thing's going on, and I don't know if the Green Lantern thing's going to be referenced. Of course, if he's this Earth's version of Diggle, then he won't have that arc. Now, if he's able to travel via the multiverse, then that's different. He'll recognise them and fill them in on what happened if he remembers and nobody else does. So it's very, very interesting. So, you know, nobody knows until this is clarified what they're doing with Superman and Lois and how heavily it's connected to Arrowverse. Because of Crisis, things have changed. Of course, it's loosely connected to Arrowverse, but I think the best thing they did was distance Superman and Lois from Arrowverse. And that is my DCEU opinion 1. Now something a lot less controversial. I'm a big fan of Lucifer, portrayed by Tom Ellis. While I was a fan of seasons 1 and 2, when it went on Netflix, it went down a shipper direction I was disappointed in, but it's still great as far as I'm concerned. So I believe that Tom Ellis has got a big future in DC live action from the reboot onwards, once Ezra Miller's Barry Allen reboots the universe in The Flash. I believe potentially, and I'm not saying this is happening, this is not an exclusive or anything, what I'm saying is he could end up being the Tony Stark of the DCEU, because we've been seeing a lot of people kind of being rumoured to be this kind of, in this position in the DCEU. Maybe Keaton's Batman, maybe Cavill's Superman. I just think Ellis is so Tony Stark, isn't he? In personality. He's funny. He's got such a brilliant personality. He's a popular character, and I think he could be a big deal within the DCEU and the DC live-action universe. So how would you have him involved? Well, of course, he'd have to appear in Flash. Most of these DC characters will, not just the ones connected to the DCEU Earth 1. I think we could have a lot of cameos of this character turning up. Now, it would be funny if he ended up leading the Multiverse Justice League, but I think that's unlikely. But certainly as cameos in many, many films, that will be really good, because Tom Ellis's Lucifer is very, very popular. The ratings on Netflix have been huge since they've had it as well. The ratings on Fox weren't that huge for it, unfortunately. But the streaming audiences on Netflix have absolutely adored Lucifer and have come to the plate. We did well to save it. And I was part of that campaign to save Lucifer, as I was to try and, release the Snyder Cut and restore the Snyderverse. And even save Dallas, which didn't work out, unfortunately. Big Dallas fan. And I think the Dallas revival was fantastic. Why I'm talking about that to you lot who are not into Dallas, I don't know. But anyway, just letting you know I've been involved with quite a few kind of geek campaigns. So yes, I do feel that Tom Ellis's Lucifer could really add to the DCEU. And him being the Tony Stark, if you like, of this franchise would be fantastic, because he's so popular. And I would really like that to happen. So please comment down below. Like, share and subscribe. And I'll be back in the next video at Movies TV Mad on Twitter, at Movies TV Mad 555 on Instagram, and I shall see you again soon.